that's Winfrey Oprah. I mean Winfrey Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
Here, wait a
Are we
minute.
ready?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you when.
Okay.
I gotta make sure.
Watch senile men versus senile men, but more retarded on MSNBC.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The recording started, and I got the video up.
Okay. I like that tweet that you sent, Matt. The one that said we tried that and he got killed.
Lavin?
All right, let's go.
Wait a minute. Just
9 o'clock Eastern right now means that the first presidential debate of 2024
might want to
is
do
about
something
to
about
begin.
that.
President Joe
Some
Biden and
echo.
former President Donald Trump will meet on stage in
Oh,
Atlanta
hold
for
on.
the first ever televised debate between a sitting president and a former president. The debate is being run by our friends at CNN, moderated by CNN anchors, but you can watch the debate right here along with us on MSNBC. The debate will be 90 minutes long. There will be no audience. Each candidate's microphone will be muted when it is the other's turn to speak. When the debate ends, me and my colleagues will be right here with reaction and analysis.
Hold on. Let me put my snake away and then I'll grab my headphones.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Put it away, goddammit.
He likes playing with his snake.
Politics makes me want to play with
Jesus.
my snake.
What are you about to say? Is it the last time we had him, we killed him? I don't know. Was it that tweet I shared?
Yes.
That was quality.
Okay, wait, Matt. I'm just curious. What exactly is your presidential knowledge?
Pretty much just know them in order. That's pretty much it. And then some facts here and there.
Okay.
I don't know much about the actual presidencies and shit. I'm not
So
that smart.
you know about the history, not about policies and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My fun fact is that Franklin Pierce ran over an old lady with a horse.
That's really helpful knowledge going into this debate.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean that's not too different than what we're about to watch, from what I've heard.
Okay. I have headphones in, so the echo should be gone now.
Okay, I'll tell you if it's still there.
Is my audio still good? Because sometimes it switches the mic.
Your
Unfortunately, it is.
Okay.
Bunch of very special guests. We will have
no echo,
every second of the debate right here. So plan to stay with us for the duration. You do not need to go anywhere else. And now to tonight's debate between President Biden and former President Donald Trump.
Thank you. The nation's highest office. Each will make his
Is the video out of sync or is that just on my end?
Yeah, it is.
Good evening, I'm Dana Bash.
It's almost in sync on my end.
Oh, it's lagging by one on my end, like a second, full-on second.
Yeah, you want to do a different thing and see if it's still lagging, or?
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
Let me go into this one and see if this one works any better.
We're live from Georgia, a key battleground state in the race for the White House.
Okay, show somebody talking.
U.S. president will debate the former U.S. president as their party's presumptive.
Can't believe Biden's debating former President Millard Fillmore.
We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world to our studios in Atlanta. This is the CNN presidential debate.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. My brain is so broken with internet and video games and memes that right below presidential debate, the little design down there looked like a creeper face when it first came on the screen.
This should compromise to a permanent end yourself. Are you going to think again?
I see CNN and I still think back to the time they doxed the guy.
CNN Max and CNN Espanol. This is a pivotal moment between President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump in their rematch for the nation's highest office. Each will make his case to the American.
Okay, I guess the video, the recording is just naturally out of sync.
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Dana Bash, anchor of
I'm perfectly fine.
I think, though.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
Anchor of CNN's The Lead and co-anchor of State of the Union. Dana and I will co-moderate this evening. Our job is to facilitate a debate between the two candidates tonight. Before we introduce them, we want to share the rules of the debate with the audience at home. Former President Trump will be on the left side of the screen. President Biden will be
But
appearing on the
Trump
right.
is right and
Coin
Biden
toss
is left.
determined their position.
That's ass
Yeah.
backwards.
Candidates will have 2 minutes to answer the question and 1 minute each for responses and rebuttals. An additional minute for follow-up, clarification, or response is at the moderator's discretion.
When it's time for a candidate to speak, his microphone will be turned on, and his opponent's microphone
The
will be
hilarity
turned
of
off.
2020
If
caused
the
this.
candidate interrupts and his microphone is muted, he will be difficult to understand for viewers at home. At the end of the debate, each candidate will get 2 minutes for closing statements. There is no
I love how, like, this is almost presented
Pre-written
like a
notes.
fucking game show.
Right?
Yeah.
Shows how very serious all this is.
Yes,
And welcome
Americans
to The
really take
Price
their
is
politics seriously.
And welcome to The Price is Right, where the entire fate of America relies on this one fucking game between two senile old men.
Yeah. Just wish we
Yeah,
still had
it's
Barker to, you know, moderate it.
it's really fucked up to me though that debates are more important than actual policy. Nobody gives a shit about policy. All they care about is debate performance.
Yeah.
What if Biden just started beating the shit out of Trump if he said some whack
By
shit?
accepting our invitation to debate, both candidates and their campaigns agreed to accept these rules.
Now, please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
That man's walking so unserious, Jesus Christ.
He
Okay,
looks like
so-
he doesn't even know he's in the right place.
He looks
Right?
depressed as fuck.
He looks like the guy who just kind of walked in. He's like, where am I?
I have a question for Matt. Matt would be the only one who would know this.
What the fuck you want?
Okay, has there ever been a president before who won a term, lost the following term, and then won the term after that?
There was
Grover
one.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Grover Cleveland won in 1884, lost in 1888, and won in 1892.
Okay, cool.
I knew there was one. I didn't know who it was.
I was just curious if there was, like, precedent for that before.
He also married the girl that he babysat, so there you go.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, that's just how it was back then.
It was. And he had two different vice presidents, I'll say that.
Motherfucker shuffles like a zombie.
He does. He looks fucking dead.
Oh my god, it's Minecraft CNN edition!
I'm surprised he doesn't fall the fuck over.
I know.
And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Dude, you don't have a mic. Nobody can hear you.
He
The
can hear himself.
non-handshakes. I can't hear anything.
Thanks so much for being
There we
here.
go.
Biden looks dead, and for some reason, Trump just looks like a frog to me.
I mean, maybe he has French in him.
We are here in the 2024 Meme Olympics as Chester the Cheeto battles fucking a skeleton.
That's what the-
Begin the debate, and let's start with the issue that voters consistently say is their top concern, the economy. President Biden, inflation has slowed, but prices remain high. Since you took office, the price of essentials has increased. For example, a basket of groceries that cost $100 then now costs more than $120. And typical home prices have jumped more than 30%. What do you say to voters who feel they are worse off under your presidency than they were under President Trump?
That look on his face was priceless.
What?
That's the look of a man who just realized he's in a debate.
Dog, he dead. He looks like he just woke up, bro.
I got to
like,
take a look
oh.
at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy
What'd he
that was in
say?
free fall. The pandemic was so bad, Mr. Trump left me.
President Trump.
Mr.
I
Trump,
got to
what
take a look
me?
at what I was left when I became president.
Okay.
Your presidency than they were under President Trump.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled.
Trump
many
just
people
looks
were
like he
dying.
wants
All
to
we
say
said
bing
was,
bong.
"It's not that serious. It's just injected a little bleach in your arm. You'll be all right." The economy collapsed. There were no jobs.
Does this have
Unemployment
captions?
rate rose to 15%.
Please, for the love of God.
Okay, captions are on. Let me
Okay,
back up a little
I'm
bit.
gonna get a drink real
They're
quick.
auto-generated.
Because I legitimately cannot hear a fucking word he's saying. I
Mago,
thought he
they're
said
going to be
Donald Trump
auto-generated,
loved
so
me.
good luck.
Mr. Trump fucked me. He does also sound like he has a dick down his throat.
Right. Like, I've been smoking for over a decade. I've got a pretty bad voice at this point from too much smoking. This
You
dude sounds like
sound
he's been
perfectly
chain
fine.
smoking. This dude sounds like he's been chain smoking for the last 50 years.
He sounds like Clint Eastwood with like throat cancer.
Alright, are you back from getting your drink, Mago?
Yeah, I got my Capri Sun Pacific cooler.
Alright. Let's do this.
Motherfucker
They
said
are
government
worse
name.
off under your presidency than they were under President Trump.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president, what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was, it's not that serious. Just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed. There were no jobs. Unemployment rate rose to 15%. It was terrible. And so what we had to do is try to put things back together again. And that's exactly what we began to do. We created 15,000 new jobs. We brought out in a position where we have 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. But there's more to be done. There's more to be done. Most of the people are still in trouble. I come from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I come of household.
No one gives a fuck.
Oh, that's where Motionless in Wait is from.
Was a problem. Price
I
of
like
eggs,
that
the
band.
price of
I
gas,
saw
the
them in
price of
Scranton
housing,
PA,
the price of a
actually.
whole
It was
range
a
of
good
stuff.
show.
That's why I'm
Played
working
with
so
Rock
hard to make
Lucy and
sure
Slaughterhouse
I
together.
deal with those problems. And we're
Okay,
Well,
the beginning was solid, and then the second half he just went off on shit that doesn't fucking matter. Who cares about what you grew up with?
Point taken, however, he said he was working hard. Prove it.
Look,
That's true.
it has subtitles, and I'm still having a hard time understanding him.
Listen,
His voice
all-
actually makes the subtitles harder to read. Is what it feels
as
like.
you can he just woke up from a 16-hour nap after working for 20 minutes. Crazy.
going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination that I was left with in corporate greed is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
Wait, medicine is around the kitchen table?
Well, what?
I mean,
Fine, go
I
home. You're
guess you
drunk.
can keep like medicine around the kitchen table if you know.
I
old.
cannot wait until we get to the part where they debate golf.
Hell yeah, that's like the highlight of this whole thing.
Do y'all know who Neil Breen is, right?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Biden reminds me of what like an old Neil Breen would be like in his movies.
Thank you, President Trump.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Oh, fucking course it's not.
Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't.
Hold on. This is the most Trump response to someone saying shit I've ever heard in my life. Well, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened in the history of mankind, okay?
Everybody was copying us.
Jesus Christ.
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter. He can bullshit and lie his way through everything, and his base will still be like, yeah.
I mean, maybe if he had somebody like on the other side who can like refute his claims and like call his bullshit out.
It's
That would be
unfortunate he's
nice.
going against a guy who looks like he'd rather be passed out, drugged out, in bed right now.
I mean, as it is right now, like everything he's saying is a bunch of bullshit, and I'm still cheering for him.
Right?
That's how bad.
Like
I can
he
actually
seems like
understand what he's saying.
he seems like he's here to play. He's got like he's hungry for this debate. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
If we're just going by the debate, Trump already won.
Yeah.
Of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rock.
No wars? Excuse me, motherfucker?
No wars, but how about that fucking impeachment bullshit?
Good.
A whole ass
The thing
report
we
about
never
it.
got the credit.
Did he really say everything was rocking good?
Yeah.
That seems weird for a president to say, but all right.
I mean, it's
Trump. It
Trump.
makes sense.
Getting us
That's
out of that COVID
totally a
mess.
Trump thing to say.
He created mandates that was a disaster for our country, but other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you. President Biden?
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who thinks he's the greatest.
Okay, yeah, that was a burn. I'm gonna
Yeah.
give him that. That was kind of a burn.
I mean, the words were a burn, but the way he said it was just so weak.
Yeah, he said it weak, but also that kind of did make it kind of funnier. Don't lie.
And, the fact of the matter is that we found ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history.
Joe Biden looks like if he's one back off away from just being 6 feet under.
You're right. I like how he points out that the only thing Trump cares about is the rich, and Trump nods like, yeah.
Yeah,
Such good
rich
shit.
folks.
Than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert
I love
Hoover
the rich
who
as well.
lost
They
more
taste
jobs
delicious.
than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant in the military.
But it wasn't really Hoover's fault. It really wasn't.
Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about
Well,
that.
I thought
When he
Hoover
president,
was
he
the
stuck himself in a position where
not a president. I thought that was the CIA guy. I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, you're thinking of J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay, yeah, my
Herbert
bad.
Hoover was president after Coolidge, but most of the shit that happened because of this, most of the shit that led up to the Great Depression was mainly under Coolidge and not Hoover.
Okay.
But
I
Hoover
do
did do
think-
like a really bad job of like bouncing the country back and shit.
I do think I remember hearing about that before.
People remember like the Roaring Twenties for being good, but it really wasn't.
I'm the only
Yeah,
president
I mean,
this
that was the
century
Great
that
Depression.
doesn't have any this decade that done any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can. You
Am I
want
allowed to respond to him?
I feel like if he was still alive, Stephen Hawking could like give a speech with more, enthusiasm than Biden is.
He could just go up there, start spamming his computer that sounds like fucking like an ambulance horn, and I'd be like, yeah, let's make that president.
I mean, in all honesty, Stephen Hawking was really good at being sarcastic and was able to like use the deadpan computer voice to his advantage to make burns hit harder.
That is true.
If I got burned by Stephen Hawking, I'm jumping into the Grand Canyon.
I mean, that would hurt.
I want to follow up. You
Right, hold up.
President Trump, I want to follow up. If I can.
Fucking
Am I allowed
lip.
to respond to him?
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others.
Jesus,
Dana.
there it is.
It's
We
gonna
did. We
force
got
these
it,
men to
boys.
pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give us a lot of
Of
power
course
for
he
other
hates
things.
China.
But
That's why he
he,
tried to make
he
a
made a
wall. He
statement.
wanted
The
to
only thing he was right about
outdo
is I gave
China.
them the largest tax
Unironically,
cut
because
in
both the
history.
candidates look Chinese.
Jesus.
I
Did
think
the
they look more
largest regulation
Korean,
cut in
to be
history. That's
fair.
why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also
If
said
Biden
he
looked at him at
inherited
one point, turned to
9%
me, "Aren't you a
inflation. No,
felon,
he
bro?"
inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what they were doing.
What the fuck metaphor was that? What the fuck was that metaphor? They spent money like a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing.
Trumpisms 2024.
Probably the worst administration in history. There's never been.
I
And
wouldn't
as
say
far as
that.
Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President Trump, over the last 8 years, under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it
I'm
was
gonna
so
keep
strong
account of
we
how
were
many
able to
times he
get them.
says it. That's the second time he said it.
Said what?
The greatest economy we've ever seen.
Oh, okay.
COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred that tax spurred. Now,
Get us through COVID.
when
He
we
was only
cut the
president
taxes,
through
as an
COVID
example,
for like 9
corporate
months.
tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it, something which a lot of people don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent, all of the things he's done. We've become like a third world nation, and it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country, and I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration
This
later
feels
in
less
this
like a
block.
debate, more
President
like a
Biden.
roast.
Right? This could go on Comedy Central easily.
I know.
I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America. And what's happening?
1,000 trillionaires?
Let's just bring them all together and just fucking fuck the. Oh my god. Just go back to being a golfer, Biden. Jesus Christ.
Let's execute all the trillionaires and take all their money and redistribute it. Yes.
If
Execute
I
the
had,
trillionaires.
if I had all the money from every trillionaire, I'd have $0.
8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year
Jesus
period.
fuck.
A million or a billion?
To help make sure.
Oh, that's not a big difference.
Million.
Yeah, I mean,
A million
trillionaire,
billionaire.
billionaire, what's the difference there?
I'm now a zillionaire. Fuck it.
Well, I'm a gajillionaire.
Oh yeah, I'm a gigazillionaire.
I thought you were about to say something absolutely wild.
Oh.
Well, I'm a Chad.
All those things
You're a
that have to do
bitch.
with child care, elder care.
I know you are, but what am I?
Strengthening
A
the
hoe.
healthcare system.
Maybe you guys
Making
need
sure
child
I know
care.
you are, but
The way
what am
y'all are
I?
acting.
Hey, listen, me and Justin are going back and forth. At least it's more of a like actual debate rather than this goddamn thing that's on our screen right now.
Exactly. Saying I know you are, but what am I is better than everything we've seen so far.
We're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with
Joe
dealing
Biden,
with
try not to stumble your
everything we have to
fucking
do
words
with.
challenge. Impossible.
Look, if
What the fuck?
Don't you paused it!
Whoa, hold on.
You paused
to
it!
do with the solitary person
When the Alzheimer's kick
eligible
in.
for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
Jesus Lord.
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
What the fuck was that ending?
Was that even supposed to be the ending, or did you just run out of time?
Because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people.
We are very stupid.
I agree with the fact that the rest of the world thinks we're very stupid, but a lot of it has to do with the man who's on screen right now.
Yeah.
We're doing
Well, I
for
wish
other
the moderators
countries,
would bring
and
it up. Be like,
nothing for
yeah,
us.
everyone in the country decides that like we think they're stupid, but have you ever considered the fact they all think it's because of you?
Man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump.
Irony. Irony.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing.
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning, the court ruled on yet another abortion case, temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban.
That happened under
Former
Biden.
President
I
Trump,
guess he fucked it up,
you take
didn't
credit for the decision to
Yep.
overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion pill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question that you're asking, complex but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives.
What's that
You're
face
fucking
he's
lying! You're just fucking lying now!
Oh my
Well,
god.
okay, so is that what's up with the fucking Biden's face there? Did you see his
Yeah,
like
I think
face he
so.
made?
he heard the bullshit Trump was spewing and he woke the fuck up.
I mean, at least he was covering his lies previously in jargon. This time it was just flat out a lie.
Fuck it,
Everybody
you're a
wanted
criminal,
back
Joe.
religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted. Now, 10 years ago or so, they started talking about how many weeks and how many this, getting into other things. But every legal scholar throughout the world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to.
The look on Joe Biden's face is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's the fucking Charlie Brown teacher. Blah 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 blah.
It's like that's the face we're making, but like for a completely different reason.
Right? I will say this, Joe Biden is providing a lot of great meme faces.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this. Hold on, take off the captions real quick,
Okay, hold up.
and then I got it.
Okay.
States. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision that was an end result that was a little bit more liberal than you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida is different. But they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions.
Because that's the president you need to be fucking modeling yourself after.
Right.
I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth.
The fuck are you talking about?
After birth? Jeez.
I was gonna hold off on making the tweet I want to make, but now I'm making the tweet now.
An abortion is when you reach in, pull the baby out, and smash it with a hammer.
No, abortion is when you just shove the hammer up the cooter and start smashing.
I made the tweet, and
Alright, let me.
It say some women, like, they get pregnant a lot just so they can get those abortions.
There we go.
Hold up, I'm checking your tweet before I hit. Okay.
At the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue.
I'm sorry, it's just it's the casualest way he'll. Okay, and it means we'll kill the baby.
It's like me talking about racial slurs.
Okay, let's move on.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was this.
Alright, how bad do you think he's gonna fumble this one? Because it's just been getting worse and worse. Like, he started out kinda okay, but he's been slowly getting worse. How bad do you think he's gonna fumble this?
I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be hard to, like, combat what the shit he just said.
Yeah.
All he has to do would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Here's a question. Okay, like, I'm not, like, I don't know shit about politics and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even, like, abortion stuff, but, like, where is he getting this shit from about
his ass
killing babies after they're born? That's gotta be. I feel like there's gotta be some kind of example he's pulling from or something.
I don't think so. As far as I know, it's just a talking point from the far right, regular people, not politicians, just the normal everyday folks. This is the shit that they've been spewing. I don't know if they got it from Trump or if Trump got it from them or if it's just an Ouroboros of them eating their own assholes. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna assume it's an Ouroboros of them eating their own assholes.
Donald Trump right now is me having to sit through this goddamn fucking debate right now.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, and have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who be raped by their in-laws.
How did this turn from fucking abortion to getting murdered by an immigrant? What the fuck are you talking about?
Does Joe go into his debates high normally? Because it seems like he did this time.
He got a stash
He
from
took a little
Snoop
too
Dogg.
much
God damn it!
morphine.
Did too much.
It's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Okay. I
There's been
think
many
he's
young
talking about.
women-
This is about women who get killed because they can't get their abortions. Is that what this is about?
I don't know. I am so confused.
I feel like what he was
This is
saying
without
was
a.
fine for a while, but then like when you guys point out, I realized like what does this have to do with
He
anything?
started off strong, and then he started saying, "I was crazy when I was locked in a room, a rubber room. A rubber room was right there."
murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border.
I'm sorry, but he opened himself up for that one.
Yeah.
Like he brought it up. He like basically said, "Here's a free shot. Punch me in the face."
Yeah.
We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world.
What does this have to do with abortion?
And these killers are coming into our country, and
They've
no.
changed it to immigration.
women, and it's a terrible thing. As
From
far as the
abortion to
is
rape to
concerned,
the
it is now back with
immigration.
the states
Makes
are voting.
sense.
In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite.
Okay, we're back to
But
abortion.
they're
I
voting,
think
and it's bringing it back
Okay.
to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted.
that's the
including
cycle
the
of life:
founders, if they
abortion,
knew
rape,
about
and
this
murder.
issue.
Oh yes, the
No,
founders, aka we're
abortion,
gonna
rape, and
set this
immigration.
fucking. Yeah, so the founders are also in abortion, so they're just gonna stick a fucking cliffhanger up their fucking woman's fucking vagina and be like, all right, we're gonna kill this baby real quick.
I will say this. At least Trump can stay on point. I have to give him credit for that. Even when he veers off a little bit, he manages to bring it back.
At
Yeah.
least I can tell Trump does not have dementia.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which frankly they didn't. But they would have, everybody wanted brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal.
See that what he's doing with his hands? That's him
I know.
stroking Ronald Reagan's dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Also, Roe v. Wade got fucking overturned during Biden's administration, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
President Biden, 7 states. I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states.
My God,
have
he is
no
fucking
legal
white.
restrictions on how far into a pregnancy.
The look on his face. He looks terrified.
He's like, what the fuck is that? What is that saying?
Is that a question you're about to ask me?
Where the fuck am I? What's happening?
I thought I was playing Minecraft.
I just want my pudding cup and a nap.
Honey, give me my dementia pills.
A woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. First time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is between the doctor between the woman and the state. The idea that the politicians, that the founders wanted the politicians to be the ones making decisions about women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run.
A man
That's
should
how it
not be
run.
making those
And final
decisions.
election, I'm going to be.
I do agree that a doctor should be making those decisions.
I
That
should
was
be making
actually a
those
decent point.
decisions.
I think Mago should be stayed far away from any woman that needs an abortion. Just get him the fuck away.
Kicking bitches in the stomach, call it yeetus the
I-
fetus.
Nah, take that bitch on, then punt him immediately. Call that fucking delete us the fetus.
Delete us.
I personally think that it's a female's decision on what she wants with her body. Personally, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. I have my own opinions on it, but I'm not a woman, so I really don't get a say in that situation. So I keep my
Exactly.
opinions to myself.
Okay,
But I do think a doctor should be directly involved because they're the professional and they know all the complications and the dangers.
I think this might be a bit of a stretch, but if the doctor is like a woman, then fine. But honestly,
I mean, a male doctor would have just as much knowledge as a female doctor on the inner workings of a female body. That's literally their job.
I know, but it's at least if it's a woman, they can have that hey,
Yeah, you could have
connection, I guess.
like a connection during the conversation than a man could.
Yeah, that's what I
Okay,
would say.
okay, but here's one question. What about? Do you think the father should have a say in it? Any?
He can tell you what he feels, but other than that, no.
I feel morally the woman should be open to a conversation, but legally speaking, I don't feel that he has any rights in what the woman decides. And I hate to say it because it feels icky, but it's kind of true. If the man had to carry half of the pregnancy, then yeah, he would have a full say.
Yeah.
See,
the only
I
part
just
that
think
the
it's
man...
I think there's a bit of nuance to it, like that, like what you were saying. Even though I would say I'm pro-choice.
The only part that a man really has during the pregnancy is he gets to do the fun stuff. He gets to stick it in and he gets to feel good for a little while.
Well, I mean,
and
it's
shoot it
not
out.
fun for the woman. She should get a different man.
True. Very true.
The only decision a man gets to do is if he wants to pull out or not, and
But I can understand from his the father's point of view, how that would the wife of the abortion without his knowing, and how that would fuck him up.
Yeah, that would be psychologically damaging, and I definitely understand that, and I understand the moral implications, but at the same time, it still rests on her in the end, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states...
What the fuck are you talking about? So the baby's born and they're just grab the shotgun, boys!
Wait, I'm gonna make another tweet.
The argument for abortion is about a woman's right to bodily autonomy. Once the baby's born, it no longer has anything to do with bodily autonomy. You're just talking shit.
I know he's Trump, but I feel like this is very insane shit to lie about.
Right?
I made another tweet.
What's sad is that right now all of his fucking fans are probably going, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, probably.
That's a great tweet, Matt. Bravo.
I don't get why, if Trump really wants to win, why doesn't he just, legalize incest? I don't really get his fans,
Jesus.
Fucking Biden's face, I just noticed it.
I can just imagine Trump in the operating room. The baby pops up. All right, guys, grab your shotguns. We're going hunting, boys.
We'll give him a 10-minute head start to try to crawl out of the room.
But make sure don't cut off the umbilical cord. Make sure the bastard can't escape.
Jesus Christ.
Life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia.
Okay. Pause.
What?
You have to look up where this shit is coming from. Because there's no way in hell that can be right.
Yeah.
After
birth, children are occasionally born with such serious disorders that termination of life is regarded as the best option. Okay, yeah. That's in the Netherlands, though.
Wait, do you think that's what this is like coming from? It's like these abortions he's talking about are like babies who are born like fucked up?
What it sounds like
DeSantis
is
falsely
Trump
claims some states allow post-birth abortions.
Okay, look into that.
What it sounds like is Trump wants to do with afterbirth or with the healthy babies. He just wants to play whack-a-mole with it. Jesus Christ.
Whack-a-mole with a live baby that was just born. Oh my god.
Have a bunch of like pregnant women like, in a ring around you, and you just play whack-a-mole.
It's a whack-a-mole, but in the background is Kendrick Lamar going wop 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 wop.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's be serious for a second and read this. I know it's Ron DeSantis talking, but it's the same talking point, so let's see where this goes. Wop, wop, wop. Oh my god, it just you know how in the song he says wop, 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 dot, fuck him up? Doc, yeah. Fuck him up.
Trump, fuck him up.
Okay, I asked DeSantis whether he would support a federal abortion ban as president. DeSantis, who signed Florida's consented 6-week abortion ban in April, said he would be a pro-life president but gave no direct answer. In some liberal states, he said you actually have post-birth abortions, and I think that's wrong. Some on social media thought DeSantis misspoke, but the post-abortion claim is something that Republicans and anti-abortion activists have repeated for years before the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. The claim is wrong then, and it is wrong now. Willfully terminating a newborn's life is not legal in any state. So Trump is lying.
Yeah.
And that's not a small lie. That's a big, blatant lie, and he's just saying that. I feel like that shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be a thing. You know what I'm saying?
The moderator should be shutting this the fuck down immediately because obviously Sleepy Joe ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, that's really fucked up. He can just sit there and blatantly lie and get away with it because his fucking opponent is Sleepy Joe. And he's...
Wop, 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 wop.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Doc, fuck him up.
Decide what to do with it. So he's willing to, as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month.
I love him going into graphic detail.
Wants it to happen.
That is simply not true.
Thank you.
It does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only a woman's life is in danger.
No, I will not rip the baby out of the oven, you monster.
But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do?
Why didn't you give it to us back?
If the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across
Okay, that was a good retort. Thank you, Joe.
the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very
It only took, check the time.
Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the
Can you check the time?
It is 10:01.
No, it took 20 minutes for a good rebuttal. Thank you.
Yeah. I like how Trump just tried to go off on a fucking rant there.
I
but
like
they had
how,
his mic turned off.
I just can't get over how like graphic in detail he tries to like go into it. So
It's just basically fear mongering.
I think it's more like a fantasy for him.
Now I'm just imagining in the weight room, Trump has the baby. He's gonna like throw it as a pitch, and the woman's got her legs up in the air. She goes, "All right, batter up, bitch."
Actually, this is kind of smart on Trump's end because the voters on his side already believe that these post-birth abortions are going on, and if he goes into graphic detail, they're all going to clutch their pearls and go, "Oh my God, not the babies!"
Yeah, I know that. It still sounds like an infanticide fetish to me.
I'm so glad I'm so glad I'm never gonna run for president, because if I was in these debates and he was starting to I would laugh my ass off so hard and be like, "What? You just want to play whack-a-mole with the babies? Jesus!"
Yeah.
Nice. We're waiting on a very specific retard to continue the video.
Yes, I'm making a tweet. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I thought we were waiting on Zara.
Oh, did he see my last tweet, Mago?
No, I haven't looked at it because I'm like trying to keep an eye on like the recording stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, what's you guys' stance on illegal immigration?
I have heard so many different things from both sides, and I honestly don't know what the truth is. So I'm pretty neutral on immigration right now. Like on the left, they say that immigration is really good for the economy and all this other stuff. But on the right, they say that the exact opposite is true. And I don't know what the actual stats are, so I'm completely neutral on it.
I would have assumed that it's just like immigration is good, but it has to be controlled, is what I would assume.
Yeah, like to some extent, yeah, it has to be controlled. Obviously, like, I mean, it's not immigration if they're not coming in legally. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Did you make the tweet?
Maybe they should have like a Karen who just kind of like hangs out at the border and just shoots the immigrants.
I mean, there are people in Texas right now that are lining up with fucking guns waiting for people to try to cross.
Why do they want to come here when this place is a shithole?
It's the best shithole on the planet.
That's fair. Everywhere, every place in the country sucks. Some places just suck more than others.
Yes.
Is he going to sign that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your watch. Overwhelming border states and overburdening cities such as New York and Chicago, and in some cases causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, but it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages.
Okay, hold up. Joe is kind of lying here. I know that this was happening when Obama was president too, and nobody wants to talk about that. They just bring up the fact that Trump allowed it.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing, talking point when Trump was around.
Yeah, that was a thing back when Obama was president too.
Yeah,
So that's really
I remember the words brown kids in cages going around.
yes.
And that was definitely like an Obama thing.
Making sure the families were separated. That's not the right way to go. What I've done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban.
Wait, is that even true? Did he just say there was 40% less people coming across the border?
That's what he said. I have no idea if that's true or not.
Well, I mean, wasn't like the whole like point of the question that there was more people coming across?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, he's just taking them out by Lee Harvey Oswald snipers. It's all right.
Okay, so then one of them has to be lying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and honest to God, at this point in the debate, they're both lying. Honestly, they probably are.
And Biden just said they're moving towards a total ban? That seems kind of fucked up, but
Well, what do you mean? Does he mean total ban on illegal specifically? I don't understand.
I don't know.
As far as I know, it's illegal to illegally.
That's true.
He's about to ban all the Mexicans, bro.
We get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
Okay, I'm going to assume that just means by total ban he means put
What did
like
he-
the maximum amount of like energy into it.
I'm gonna assume Trump's about to say, I really don't know what the fuck he just said.
Yeah, I barely know what the fuck he just said.
I don't know if I'm stupid or if I'm just if I'm misunderstanding like the Jenny saying.
He did say it.
Wait, what did I
He
miss?
said it.
He said, I don't know what. Go back.
I did.
I really don't know what he said at the end.
Asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from
Them
prisons,
damn illegals.
people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now. All terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me.
You just did.
I think he was just trying to like mock Biden there.
I won't say that, but they did.
Yeah.
Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest.
Whoa! Did he?
Brandon, just speak to him. But
he did it.
What
Goddamn.
What? Explain it to me, Brandon.
You don't know about Let's Go, Brandon?
No, I must have missed out on this. Explain it to me.
Okay, this happened a few years ago, and it became a big mega thing. I think it was a NASCAR race. Somebody named Brandon won, and they were doing a news report on it, and in the background you could hear chanting, and the news reporters thought that they were chanting "Let's go Brandon," but they were actually chanting "Fuck Joe Biden." So it became a thing to say "Let's go Brandon" in replace of "Fuck Joe Biden."
Oh.
But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al Qaeda person come in his administration.
What the fuck are you saying?
I got subtitles. I still don't understand what he's saying.
This man up.
Kill 3 American soldiers. Kill 3 American
soldiers.
Soldiers.
They got through with the idea they're emptying their prisons. We're welcoming these people. That's simply not true. There's no data to support what he said. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said
I'm not sorry for what I'm about to tweet.
Oh God.
Just domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades?
After this is over, we need to remember this. Okay, you remember when Joe Biden was vice president?
Yes.
They had the vice president debates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to look them up because I remember those, and it was very different from this.
Yeah. I remember a big speech that Biden did recently, and he fucking killed it. He was like owning Republicans in the crowd. He was shutting down booers and hissers. What the fuck happened in the span of like 8 months?
Dementia. Anyway. I made the tweet, Justin.
I retweeted it.
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world, and it had a huge impact on...
Why does this motherfucker constantly have his mouth hanging open?
Because he can't breathe through his nose, man.
Who is al-Baghdadi and Salaman?
I have no
I think
fucking
they're...
idea.
I don't know.
The people we killed...
I'm not being racist. Al-Baghdadi sounds like a racist like stereotype of like a... Al-Baghdadi?
Al-Baghdadi sounds like a fucking terrorist porn star. I'm not gonna...
This terrorist pimp.
And Soleimani, the 2 greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world, and it had a huge impact on everything, not just border, on everything. He's the one that killed people with the bad water, including hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level...
Clever. Very fucking clever.
That sounds like a first grade insult. Jesus Christ.
Okay, we need to get those long canes from the old cartoons where they go around the person's neck and pull them off stage. We need one for each of these motherfuckers, especially Joe, though.
All this is gonna be we're gonna start laughing in our face when I can't honestly. Joe Biden performed so badly that I really hope he wins.
that we've never seen before, and you're reading it like these 3 incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and
his eyes are getting wider.
Sure you did. Every time this motherfucker goes on about someone who died, he goes, "I just recently spoke to their mother." Like, oh fucking course you did, you bastard.
I like looking at Biden. He's like,
dude, Joe
that
Biden
Cheeto
looks so
is talking,
disgust-
and nobody else is bothered by this.
He looks
Just a
so
giant
disgusted.
Cheeto.
Why the fuck is the giant Cheeto bag just talking to me? What the fuck is going on?
Should I say? I can't say anything. Nobody's saying anything about giant Cheeto.
His eyes just keep getting wider as this goes on. I'm waiting for them to just fall out and roll across the stage.
Why does Chester Cheeto keep talking about killing babies post-birth?
This is so fucking pathetic. What the fuck has happened to America? I mean, it was always bad, but Jesus Christ.
It's horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, or we have to get them out fast because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And
I have to take up for Biden because I don't think he's going to take up for himself. He just passed some shit that was really good for veterans. Like, it did a lot to improve the situation for veterans.
I thought he was a veteran.
I think no, he was born in 1945. So. No, he was born in 19. I don't know. I know he wasn't a World War II vet.
I didn't mean World War II. I meant I assumed he was like one of the ones that came after.
Obviously, guys, look at how old Biden is. Obviously, he was a Civil War vet.
Dog, that motherfucker was a French and Indian War vet. What do you mean?
He was a part of the Crusades.
Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half because he's done all these great things that we did. And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But he has killed so many people at our border by allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since I passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened?
Biden's not a vet.
Orange or burn pits.
He's not.
He went straight into the he went straight into politics.
Yeah, I figured.
Whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq, living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in France for D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery.
Look at Trump!
Why does Trump constantly kiss the air?
Because he's imagining making out with Chester Cheetah after killing all those fucking babies.
Have you seen the episodes of South Park where Mr. Garrison becomes Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing the butt face. Was that what they called it? The butt face?
I think so, yeah.
Lips or something. It's all butt face.
Standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Damn! Go Joe! I wish you would have put some more venom into it, but goddamn!
I mean, I think that's about as much as you can.
And that wraps up for recess, first graders. Let's go back inside for math class.
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these.
Or we digressed to kindergarten at this point.
You did these shitty things. Nuh-uh! Nuh-uh!
Okay, so can we confirm whether or not Trump actually said that? Or if that was just propaganda?
Let's find out. Oops.
Yay.
Oops.
You know, how can we be sure fact checkers aren't biased? Or lying to us?
Whoa. Oh, you bitch. It's paywalled. I have to go to a different one.
I fucking hate that shit.
No, I don't want notifications from the hill. Fuck off.
I only get my notifications from the mountain. Fuck you.
Yeah, he did. In 2018, it says somebody, former Chief of Staff John Kelly previously confirmed Trump called dead veterans suckers back in 2018.
Okay.
Jesus.
So he did say that.
Yeah, he did.
What
Well,
a
how do we
piece
know
of
that?
shit.
How do we know the guy who said he said it wasn't lying, though?
Fact check the fact checkers and fact check the fact checking fact checkers.
And make sure those fact checkers didn't get abortions.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, I'll leave it paused until you get back.
I'm back.
Okay.
I grabbed a can of soda this time, so it would take longer to finish.
Is it a
Oh,
can of
gotcha.
whoop-ass?
What do you say?
Ugh, okay. He said, was it a can of whoop ass?
Oh, it's a sun kiss. It's kind of like a whoop ass.
Stone Cold approves.
That,
Continue.
In a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say
Wow, what an oddly specific number. 19 people. Congrats. Guess what?
there's video of you saying it, but it's not true because 19 people said it wasn't. Okay.
Wait, is there actually a video of it?
That's the way it came across.
Oh.
Doc disagrees because 19 people is just too many.
All 19 of them were post-birth abortions.
They didn't admire to his brain, so Trump wop 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 wop.
Can we post-birth abort Vic, by the way?
Of course.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's
But
not.
at that point, it's an assassination. But you know,
Just call it an abortion and it's
only an
legal.
assassination if it's a person you're killing.
True.
yeah, we'll just make a
Vic
robot.
is just a case where they accidentally took the afterbirth home and raised it.
Yeah.
cemetery, or I'm talking about our veterans, because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would
The look on Biden's face is always priceless. Every time I look over at Biden.
The fuck?
He can be the meme face president.
Hell yeah.
Who is the meme face president?
I think Trump is right now. He's got some pretty exaggerated facial expressions, but goddamn, Joe is definitely taking the award tonight.
We have 19 people that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up, just like the 51 intelligence agents are made up, just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking. It's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from
Okay, something I've noticed is that they can be like really vague about this shit, and it's like if you don't know what they're talking about, you just do not know what the fuck they're talking about.
To be fair, being vague is like 90% of what politicians do when they're giving speeches and shit.
At this point, though, it's gotten to where if you miss something, you're missing an episode of a soap opera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all know about the Hunter Biden laptop in the Supreme Court and Marjorie Taylor Greene showing off pictures of Hunter Biden's cock in the Supreme Court?
Okay, I knew everything until the cock.
Apparently, he's got a pretty big one from what I understand, and they did a horrible job censoring it.
Dwayne.
Do you think it's been any of his cousins?
Are you talking? Oh, no, because he's not from. Are you telling me his nickname is Dick the Cock Johnson?
Yes.
wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
It really is like a little child's.
This is a fucking 2-year-old, or no, a 7-year-old living inside of a 77-year-old man's body. Jesus Christ. I didn't say those
My
mean things.
feelings are hurt. You need to apologize.
Miss teacher lady.
Oh, this is pathetic.
You said it. Period. That's number one.
Yes,
Number
you
two,
did.
the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything along the line. We've done more for veterans than any president has in American history. American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President.
Okay, so would you say that Biden has done a bit better than you expected?
No. I mean, to be fair, the bar is set so goddamn low, then I mean...
I'm kind of on a fence. Like, occasionally he gets a good one in there and makes a good point, like that last one was decent. Yeah. But then he just fumbles the bag so fucking hard over and over and over again. I don't know what...
Also, at one point, it's like, he gets a good point off, and then at the same time, it's, no, I said it, you shouldn't apologize.
He also repeats things a lot.
He also forgets things because of his dementia.
He repeats things a lot. He goes off on tangents over and over again. He loses his place and forgets what the fuck he's talking about and just rambles.
I don't mean like he repeats like his points. I mean he literally like he'll say something, then he'll say it again right after, and it's not like stumbling on your words. It's like he just fucking repeats it, like he's not all there.
But in fairness, Biden didn't say that he was basically in favor of curb stomping newborns immediately after they were born.
Yeah,
I made a song about curb stomping hobbies.
I mean, let's be fair. Curb stomping newborns is probably a good idea.
I do agree.
Only when the name's Vic.
End this war. If Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed, and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy.
Jesus, that's not the topic.
The worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them.
It's really that childish.
Look at the smile on Joe's face.
This is the most pathetic excuse of a presidential debate I've ever seen. So what's your debate on this topic? Well, this guy fucking sucks to my right here.
Single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never
Look at Joe! I feel like he's like, oh, I can rebuttal this and it's going to be great, and in 2 minutes he's going to forget everything he said and go back to that blank stare.
He's going to go, watch this, guys, I got this.
Can I have a pudding cup?
My feelings.
To be fair, I don't want the respect of somebody named Putin.
True.
Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can double those numbers, maybe triple.
I mean, there's always like a lot of people who are just dead, and that number just keeps getting higher and higher.
Yeah, everyone dies.
Like every day.
Yeah, I think there's like a
when
good
are we going to see the
dead
first
people than
presidential
live
debate?
people.
When are we going to see the first presidential debate where one of the panelists just fall over and dies?
There's what the fuck is his name? Oh my god, I'm blanking. There's a YouTuber who does skits, and he did a presidential debate skit, and at the end of the skit, it was just two skeletons debating each other.
That might be this fucking election.
See, when I'm like pictured as like a skit, and it's just like a big fat orange baby and a little Tommy Pickles, like like a little retarded Tommy Pickles baby debating. God.
It's like a fucking. It's the Do the Roar kid from Shrek.
Encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of the country. When Putin watched that, and
he looks sad.
He looks.
He burned his feelings.
This image right here reminds me of the "No, I don't think you will" meme.
He looks so sad.
It's like, okay, man, you didn't have to go that far.
You didn't. I don't have to apologize to you.
and said he should have fired those generals like I fired the.
Is he gonna fucking cry?
That you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38 soldiers were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin
Did we?
I don't fucking
Maybe.
know. Saw that, he said, "You know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take my." This was his dream. I talked to him about it. His dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration.
I feel like that's a lie.
There
What
was
happened
no
on January
terror.
6th? Because, in all actually, yes, that happened in 2021. Guess what? Jenny, your term ran out January 20th, so that happened in your term, you jackass.
This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look,
Malarkey.
Did this motherfucker just say malarkey?
Alright, wrap it up. I don't want to watch this shit anymore.
I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Pack this man up!
the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops.
You have brain damage, motherfucker. Jesus Christ.
Not when he was president. They attacked. He said they're just having headaches. That's all it is. He didn't do a thing when the attack took place, number one. Number two, we got over 100,000 Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want.
Wait. Trump told Trump?
No, I think he just fucked his words up. He's talking about some guy in Ukraine told Trump.
Do whatever you want. And do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him. Do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish. Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops. 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I never said that.
For 1 minute.
I never said that.
My original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory in Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed.
We all know Trump's going to win. Biden fucked this up really bad. I want to hold him to that promise. I want to see how bad he's fucking lying.
Yeah.
So needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I take office.
President Biden, you have a minute.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people. And he has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire, not just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why we're strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal to resolve this conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas, number one. They're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was hurt. No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second.
God damn it, Trump! Jesus Christ!
He's like, I don't care
European
about
nations together have spent
wait a minute.
billion or maybe more than that.
Yes.
Isn't the left usually very pro-Palestine and anti-Israel right now?
The average citizen is, but politicians are not. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but yeah.
Okay, what do you mean the average citizens are like Palestine or Israel?
Palestine.
Okay. Yeah.
The further left you are, the more likely you are to support Palestine at this point, and the further right you are, the more likely you are to support Israel. That doesn't mean necessarily that only people on the right support Israel. There are people on the left who support Israel. But it seems to me, from everything that I've seen, that the actual politicians support Israel regardless.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't entirely understand the reasoning. I don't know.
Well, it's because, the people who are in control.
Yeah.
I had to make that joke, but no, it's just really weird because it's like he's making it saying that Hamas is like the only bad guys. How he made it sound, right?
Yeah.
Is that just me?
No, that's definitely how it came across.
Okay. And it says like he
Like
took a lot of the pressure off of Israel there, which
he pointed out like one bad idea that Israel had, but downplayed it heavily.
yeah, this is really fucking weird.
For 1 second, we have an ocean separating us. The European
Oh my fucking god.
together
Mind fucking blown.
spent $100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending.
God, this guy really is just like up his own ass.
Paid by us.
He really loves himself a lot. I mean, it's fair though. Nobody else loves him.
Yeah. Well, his like incest hillbilly fanboys.
Oh yeah. I feel like most of Trump's fans are like that one guy on Twitter who unironically said that he would let Elon Musk fuck him.
Oh, yeah.
That his wife would completely understand.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, I remember it. Oh. Jesus fucking.
That he's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one. And you
what?
Wait, so is he like? So he's the one who's like putting pressure on Israel right now? Can you back it up a bit? Because I was like, I zoned out for a bit there.
I am. What?
As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's like a Palestinian.
Why'd you pause?
I think he's having a hard. He's like.
I'm processing. Okay. Let him go and finish the job. That's a quote.
Follows up with, as long as it's a blow.
He's a weak one.
There, I saw that clip, remember?
President Biden, you have a minute?
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy
Foolishness. Malarkey. Might as well just say tomfoolery.
The guy said we have, our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And
Jesus. He actually, wow. Okay.
Other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand that this kind of dislocation has a serious threat to the whole world.
I just love the fact that Trump's processing what the hell this old man is saying.
Major war in Europe has never been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade.
Yes or no question. Hold on, wait a minute. It's a yes or no question. He goes, well, hold on a second there, pal. Actually.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to go off on a tangent about Europe.
I mean, did you expect anything else? Did he really say we should just let Israel kill Hamas?
It felt like he was more implying, just let him nuke Palestine off the map. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it came across to me.
Well, I mean, if they nuked it off the map, they wouldn't be able to have it then. So it's like if... Okay, because if I'm still like I don't know that much about the history, but isn't it Israel is the one who wants the land?
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Okay, it just seems like they're like I'm that I'm talking about the government because just the people is people, but it seems like the Israeli government or whatever the Zionists they're the agitators as far as I know.
It definitely comes across that way.
Maybe I'm
But
wrong.
I'm not well versed enough in Israel Palestine to really speak on it. The only thing I have to say is killing innocent people is bad.
Yeah, I mean most of
Yeah.
my information comes from Vincent,
Unless
which
unless
I
it's
trust Vincent, but I also like he's obviously a very biased source, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't
yeah.
think Lovesock likes to talk about it at all.
No, he brought it up with me once, and it was just to show me a. He went to fucking Tel Aviv, I think, and he showed me a picture of an AI generated poster, and that was the only time he ever brought it up. And the AI generated poster was really bad, like
Yeah,
it was ugly as fuck.
yeah.
all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have, but we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play
Is this
games
about
with
Palestine and Israel,
NATO
or is he
is
still
because
on
I got them to put up
Ukraine and
hundreds of billions of
Russia?
dollars.
I think he's still going on about Ukraine and NATO.
I said, and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting
Doesn't
of the
this
28 states
go
at
against
that
the
time, the
rules?
nation?
I I don't. I feel like the only rule that's still in play right now is turning off the other person's microphone.
Yeah.
How about we both mute and we just watch like South Park, season 1?
At that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former President Trump, I want to
Is
ask you
Sarah
about
even still
January
here?
6, 2021.
No.
oh, oh
Okay.
boy, we're going into Jan 6.
Where were you at January 6, 2021, Mr. Trump boy? Well, actually, here we go. This has the. I wonder if this is the situation where they get into golf.
Maybe.
You rallied
Here's a
to
quick
support that
question:
day.
is it weird that like when it comes to the January 6th stuff, I just I
I
just don't
laugh.
give a shit. Yeah, I just kind of
I,
laugh at it.
I'm like, they were all just storming the Capitol just to see if they can get into a match of golf between Trump and Biden. That's all we know.
Remember when
They
that
stormed the
person said
Capitol.
that January 6th was the most horrible thing that ever happened to America, and like it was so much worse than 9/11, and it wasn't even close?
Yeah, and like, no.
Clearly said by somebody who was not alive during 9/11.
The constitutionally mandated counting
I was
electoral
alive during
votes.
9/11.
As president, you swore in a
So was I.
I was very
I
sad that
wasn't.
I
rallied your
didn't get
supporters
a
that
day
day.
off from school for it.
I
I was out
was.
of school that day. I was sick.
I don't.
And we didn't even know it was happening. We went to the pawn shop, and there was a sign up that said, closed for the day, God bless America. And we went home, and then we found out afterwards, like after everything had happened. And
Yeah,
I was like, what, 10? I think I was like 10 or 11. And my
yeah.
response was, after seeing the video of the towers crumbling, to build up 2 Jenga towers and throw cars at them.
God damn it.
Um. Well, I can tell you where I was. I think I was just conceived.
You were like a little spermy swimming in your mom's pussy, like in what's that
Oh
fucking
my
Look Who's
god!
Talking?
I was gonna say I wasn't born until June of '02, so
Yeah, so it was exactly like the beginning of Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
Some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few.
Jesus
Oh my
fucking
God.
Christ.
On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes
Look
ever.
at Joe.
We had the lowest regulations ever.
That has nothing to do with January
all over the
6th.
world.
This is just him sucking his
That
dick
has
again.
nothing to do with, oh yeah, the guys trying to get into the Capitol building because why not? No, this is, we're the greatest nation of all time. Trust me, man.
What's going to happen is it's going to loop back around to the people who stormed the Capitol were just great patriots who knew that he got the election stolen from him.
No,
And
all these great people that stormed the Capitol building were the failed fucking afterbirth child that weren't fucking aborted.
yes, but I'm going to say this: if he's convinced that the election was rigged against him, why the fuck is he running again?
I don't know.
All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people.
We
what
are.
happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
That's
You
Jan
have 80
6, huh?
seconds left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, what they say.
The fuck is a filmmaker?
Why'd he say it so fucking weird?
But she's saying, oh no, it's my responsibility.
Watch Joe.
Filmmaker, what they say. But she's saying, oh,
that slow fucking ear scratch you can barely. Did he use a pen?
Yes.
Soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down. The mayor of D.C.
How many times do you have to say mayor in writing on paper, turned it down, mayor of whatever the fuck? You're sounding like Joe.
I offered 10,000 because I could see. I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her. And she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in that dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours watching, begging, being begged by his vice president and a number of his colleagues on the Republican side as well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, he talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll not forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says if he loses again, such a whiner that he is, that it could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there, with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. when you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that, they saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing, the Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now, out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, I want to give you a minute.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon is the man I'm looking at right
There we go.
Finally.
He said it.
He is
And even Trump's like, yeah, you're right.
The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on up in Capitol Hill. And all those people, every one of those who were convicted, deserves to be convicted. The idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned over statues. The idea that those people are patriots? Come on. When I asked him those first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now? Will you denounce the people who attacked that Capitol? What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be a success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted. Probably numerous other times.
He shook his head after he said it, by the way.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab a drink.
Yeah, I'm going to take a piss real quick.
I want to kill.
Yeah.
This is a fucking shit show.
It definitely is.
First time I've ever watched a presidential debate, and it's probably the worst in U.S. history.
It's the funniest one.
True.
My sister's about to be home and I have to help her, so I might be out here. I might be like out of it for like 20-30 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know when she's gonna be back, but yeah.
Uh.
Is Justin back?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Let's do this shit. Why isn't it playing?
Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one.
Tomfoolery.
Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before.
They usually say malarkey a lot.
The crimes that you are still charged with. And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean,
Jesus.
you have the morals on that?
Let's spill the fucking tea.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically went after his political opponent because he thought it was going to damage me. But when the public found out about these cases, because they understand it better than he does, he has no idea what these cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you, President Trump. President
Aren't
Biden,
debates
you
supposed to
said,
have,
quote,
like,
Donald
fact
Trump-
checkers? Or is that just
You'd
certain
think.
debates? I feel like that's a
Good
thing.
think so.
Like, I feel like that's a thing that they've had before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy American democracy. Do you believe that the tens of millions of Americans who are likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face.
Damn it,
I
the
don't know what the jury
fucking
will do,
face he's
but I do
making.
know
There's that shit-eating grin right there.
Bong, bong, bing, 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 bong, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong.
I thought Hitler had some good ideas. What got me involved in
Whoa, 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 whoa,
No,
whoa. All I heard was I think Hitler had some good ideas. I need context. Back up.
I do know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? Do you ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas?
Okay, he was
Oh,
going
he
to
said
get...
Trump.
Yeah.
Did
That's
Trump
what I-
actually say that? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point, but
I've heard about it, but again, it's like one of those things I don't know if that's...
It's like a he said, she said thing.
Yeah, I don't... I would assume so, though. I
Yeah,
really
probably.
wouldn't.
In Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods carrying swastikas on torches, and singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him.
Another one of those. I spoke to the mother of the victim that was killed.
People the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides. What American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields, carrying torches, singing the same anti-Semitic bile, carrying swastikas, were fine people? And this is the guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that story has been totally wiped out because when you
Fabricated.
see the stats, it said 100% exoneration on that story. He just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville. He ran
That
because
fucking
it was his last
face of
chance
disgust. Did you see it?
Yes.
He's not equipped to be president. You know it, and I know it. It's
I
ridiculous.
mean, Trump
We have
is right
debates.
there.
We're trying to justify
Yeah, that's sadly true.
his presidency. His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country.
You're giving Franklin Pierce way too much credit there, buddy. And James Buchanan, for that matter. James Buchanan did absolutely nothing to stop a civil war. Guess what? But Joe Biden, there's not been a civil war.
Who was
I'm
the?
pretty sure Andrew Jackson was worse too.
Wasn't Andrew
Andrew
Jackson was the?
Johnson.
Or was it Andrew Jackson or Johnson who did the Trail of Tears?
Jackson.
Okay.
But Martin Van Buren carried out the worst part, which is the Cherokees. That gets lost on everybody.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did not know about that. Who was that? Who did that?
Van Buren, but he was also he wasn't. He's okay. Other than that, everything else about his presidency is okay, except for that part.
Okay.
I'm gonna name presidents who are worse than fucking Joe Biden here.
Who was the racist one from the early 1900s?
Wilson. So Wilson's
Yeah.
on there. Wilson's on there. Andrew Jackson, Andrew Johnson. Let's see.
Dude, I think when people say the worst president ever, they just like forget about like all these like really shitty old school presidents
Yeah,
who
so
are just
like
monsters.
Andrew Jackson, Miller. They're tied. Franklin Pierce, James Buchanan, Andrew Johnson, Woodrow Wilson. Who was worse? Who was worse? Hoover kind of had a shittier presidency. Warren Harding was completely fucking like scandalous. So Warren Harding.
What about Nixon?
Nixon, obviously, because Watergate.
Reagan?
I'll say Reagan. I can't.
Bush?
Which Bush?
Senior?
I feel like he had a better presidency than fucking
Okay,
Biden.
fair.
I think the worst thing about Bush Senior was that he like had an issue with The Simpsons for some reason.
But hot fucking take, every president who ever owned a slave is worse than Biden.
I mean, to be fair, like everybody back then owned slaves.
Is it because you're saying like what Washington, Jefferson, Madison?
Yeah.
If you take slavery out the question, because at that point it wasn't banned, which is still not okay. But
Yeah, but the fact that they were okay with it and perpetuated it tells me that they're worse than
I would
Biden.
think that like even if they weren't okay with it, there's probably not much they could do with the
they didn't at that time. They didn't want to. The country was still new. They didn't want to fuck up the balance of whatever. So like whatever.
And to be fair, just like every country fucking owned slaves back then. And some of
Yeah, and I say that every country was just as bad.
Okay. Look, all I'm saying is I think George Washington was a pretty cool guy.
My only point here is that what some things that are morally reprehensible now were morally reprehensible a long time ago, no matter what lens you look at it through.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But to say that they were worse than Biden just because of that is kind of like.
I feel like the context matters there.
It really comes down to the country was still fucking brand new. They knew that it was bad, but they couldn't, they didn't want to do anything about it because, to already have that off rip is kind of like. They ended up having a civil war less than 100 years into existence, so it's like.
Mm.
And it got bad in 1820, so. The Missouri Compromise might be the top 5 worst things to ever happen to America.
I think I just like George Washington because he's actually I remember he actually said that the two-party system was a bad idea.
He's the only president not to be affiliated with any political party, so there you go.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
He's the only independent president, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Be having a debate about it. There's nothing to debate. He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place.
No, he did not.
Every reasonable anchor has debunked it.
Every anchor who agrees with me.
And just the other day, it came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse to run.
Do we need to look up if that was debunked?
It happened.
Or do we just know that's bullshit?
He's fucking lying.
I remember it happening, yeah. He's fucking bullshitting out of his mouth.
Okay, wait, remind me real quick, what was Charlottesville-ish thing again? That was racial riots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say one thing in Trump's defense. I hate playing devil's advocate at all, but it's very, very possible that Biden didn't give a fuck about Charlottesville and just used it as an excuse to run on.
Possibly.
Fair.
I'm not saying he did do that, but we don't know his intentions, and politicians are all slimy.
Yeah.
Yeah, politics is a dirty game to play.
Is Biden slimy, or is he just a puppet?
He's like a...
He's the least slimy, but he's still really slimy, in my personal opinion.
He's the safe choice, but not safe at the same time.
I feel like
Actually, I take that back. The least slimy is probably Sanders.
And I'm not voting Sanders this day of my life.
Fuck that.
You should tell Vic about Sanders.
I just think that Sanders is honest. I don't think he's a good choice, but I think he's more honest than most
Bernie
politicians.
Sanders makes some good chicken.
Oh, damn it.
I said at the time, and the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that office.
Why can't we just have somebody else run who is, like, mentally capable of being a fucking president?
Because they're all dead. And Biden, fucking Obama, Bush, Clinton, and they can't run again. That's why. And Jimmy Carter, who is the most nicest old man I've ever seen, is about to die. That's why.
Okay, let's throw out a real question here. Who's better, Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton?
A noose.
Nope, you have to pick one.
Honestly, I think I might actually pick Biden over Hillary.
My answer.
We should tell you how little I just trust her.
Yeah.
My answer remains the same.
Carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the idea that he's talking about all this being fabricated, we saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying his own vice president. Look, there's a reason why 40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well.
That is true. I mean, he's speaking facts right now.
Thank you, President.
Yeah.
We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Finally, the
CNN presidential debate brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends.
On the screen just says, please fucking help this country, goddamn. This is the bathroom break for these two old men. They're probably shit their diapers already. I mean...
Yep.
I mean, I could tell Biden did it a couple of times.
Oh, yeah.
I love this. I love that little image of Trump there.
I don't know why, but it's fucking... And he looks like Kermit the Frog.
I told you he looks like a fucking frog.
They look like Muppets.
Oops.
They look like Muppets, but they're the Muppets from the fucking
Biden's head looks like if you turn...
What was the Genesis music video for Land of Confusion?
Biden's
like it's from
head
that
looks...
show.
Biden's head looks like if you turn it towards the camera a little bit more, it's just gonna pop off like a fucking cherry. Biden Tramp.
Welcome back to the CNN presidential debate live from Georgia. Let's talk about persistent challenges you both faced in your first terms and you'd certainly face again in a second term. President Biden, while black
How far are we
unemployment
through
dropped
this?
to a record low under
About halfway, I think. A little more than half, like 2/3.
We haven't even gotten to the fucking golf yet.
your presidency, black families still earned far less than white families. Black
Maybe
mothers
they
are
should
still
just try
3
making more
times more
money.
likely to
That-
I'm not touching that one with a fucking 8-foot pole, bro. Not gonna touch that one.
Attention, Black Americans! Mago has a message for you. Just don't be poor.
Exactly.
He also has another message.
Look, if you want if you want more money, just get jobs that make more money. What's so hard about that?
I was gonna say something, but it's like I processed it and realized it's not funny. It's just racist. So we're gonna move on.
Okay, but you have to like text it to me then. Because I have to know. I'm the racist. I'm the racist guy. I gotta know all about the racisms and.
I'm
stuff.
glad that that's now part of the video.
Sending it via Discord.
Okay, I'll look at it later. Likely to die from pregnancy-related causes in Black Americans. I love that out of context. Remember, guys, you're likely to die from pregnancy-related causes in Black Americans.
Alright, well, this is where I have to go for a minute, so I'll be back in like 20 or so minutes.
Okay.
Just continue with that.
Okay, go ahead and read the message I sent you, Mago, and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how racist it is.
Okay, let me see. Oh no, wait, I can't see it because I'm recording the Discord.
Oh shit. Okay.
Or you can like send it in Twitter.
Oh, okay. Oops. Like, I thought it would be funny, and then I processed it, and I'm like, oh shit, no, don't say that.
Let's see. Wee. More racist than my racist country song?
Possibly?
I mean, that is pretty fucking funny.
Okay. Let's continue.
Americans are imprisoned at 5 times the rate of white Americans. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed that you haven't made more progress?
They acknowledge they made a lot of progress, number one. The fact of the matter is there's more small black businesses that have been started from any time.
Remember when Biden was like, if you don't vote for me, you're not black?
Was it Biden who said the thing about poor kids and white kids?
I don't remember that one. What was it?
I forget the exact context and the exact wording, but he said something about how all children deserve equal education and opportunity, including poor kids and white kids.
I mean, that sounds like a Bidenism. Biden sure does love his gaffes.
Yes.
Businesses that have been started from any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses. And in addition to that, we find that the impact on the choice that black families have to make relative to child care is incredibly difficult. When we did the first major piece of legislation in the past, I was able to reduce black child care costs, cut them in half. We've got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We've got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people can be in the job market. So There's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds.
If it wasn't for all the stumbling and stuttering and pauses, that was a decent response.
Yeah, it's just he sounds like he's gonna have a stroke the whole time.
Yeah.
Left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family first-time home buyer should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home so they can get started. I made sure that we're in a situation where all those black families and those black individuals who provided had to take out student loans that were ballooning, that if they were engaged in nursing, doctor, and anything having to do with volunteerism, if they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
Okay, can you hold on a minute?
Inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be ignorant here, but do you say that he was like giving people like bonuses just based on the color of their skin?
He was what?
Based on like the fact that they were black, they get like bonuses for being black.
Okay, so this is a tough subject to get into. I have some pretty strong opinions on it, but I feel like this could this has the potential to be a disagreement, which I'm fine with as long as it's a respectful disagreement. But yes, black people are getting bonuses off the merit of being black, but as bad as things are for black people, especially black people in underdeveloped areas of cities and things like that, that leg up is just getting them to equal footing.
See,
I don't think. Okay, go ahead.
It's more as though that like, what if this happens just to be a black person who's like actually like really well off? Do they still get like? I didn't know what the bonus exactly was, but.
It was. It sounded like I could be off base here, but it sounded like a situation where black families who are in these areas that are impoverished get these credits, or they're poor. They get these credits off of the merit of being black, but it's only giving the community a leg up to get them to equal footing, not necessarily focusing on the individuals.
See, it's a weird thing for me because it's like, yeah, I agree with like the idea behind it, but like, what if you're a poor Hispanic person in the neighborhood?
The argument that I hear, I don't know how much validity this argument has. I haven't spent enough time, looking into it because I'm not black, I'm not Hispanic, I'm a white dude. This doesn't super affect me, but the argument that I've heard is the racial segregation on a systematic level, not on an individual interpersonal level, but on a systematic level, is there's a greater disparity towards black people than there are towards other races. So we need to be focusing on getting them closer to an equal footing right now, and then worry about the other people who are not as bad off.
See, again, I just can't say much on it because I'm not educated enough.
Yeah, this is just my base level understanding, not necessarily the actual fact of the matter. So take what I'm saying with a gigantic grain of salt.
Yeah. I mean, too bad we can't just go on Twitter and ask people's opinions on this stuff and have a nice discussion.
Like a nuanced conversation, and you're actually coming at it from the perspective of someone who's uneducated. No, that's never going to happen because any questions about black disparity from the opposite side is automatically racism, regardless of what your intentions are.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did I...
Did Matt come back, or is he still gone?
I think he's still gone. Let me check.
Okay.
Yes, the boy is still gone.
The boy?
He's the youngest one in the call, so he's the boy.
Oh yeah, it's because Sarah left.
Yeah.
But that was the girl.
Yes.
The boy and the girl. And the two dads.
There it is. Okay. All right. Let's continue on with Biden's crazy fucking perplexed stare.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
For black families.
Thank you, President Trump.
And he caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right. It's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody.
I gotta disagree. This has been an issue for a whole lot longer than the last 4 years.
See,
Fuck you, Trump.
that's what I'm thinking. Whenever they talk about like this stuff, I feel like is this like how much of this stuff can you blame on like the individual presidents? It seems like that's just the things
Unfor-
that's naturally going on, and it's like more than just like something you can just blame on one person.
Yeah, I hate to say this because I hate this word. I think it's overused and it's used in a weaponized sort of way. But there are systematic things that are designed to keep black people down
Yeah, I
that
would
are, like old,
believe that. Yeah.
like from 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years ago that are still that we're dealing with the ramifications of those things to this day, and they need to be dealt with and addressed, and putting it on the shoulders of a single person is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I agree.
It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused this inflation. I gave him a country with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone.
How is that? Can that even be a thing? No inflation.
That's not how inflation works.
I feel like maybe, yeah. I mean, I know it's Trump and he's full of bullshit. I'm thinking, am I just misunderstanding?
See, the thing is, I don't entirely understand inflation. I'm not involved in economics. I don't understand economics, but I understand enough to know that he's full of shit.
I think that's basically anyone's knowledge of him, personally.
Welcome back, Matt.
You're welcome. Thanks.
With his Green New Scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window, he caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that
Okay, going green is not a scam. That's like an absolute necessity at this point. I know Republicans don't want to believe it, but we're legitimately destroying our fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck off, Trump.
his big kill on the black people is the millions of people
On the what
he's
now?
allowed to come
On
in
the
through
black
the border.
people.
They're taking black jobs.
Like,
Oh,
remember that
we're
time
back to immigration.
Remember when Biden just like went out with like a shotgun and he just like started taking out a bunch of black people?
Oh
Why?
my god.
That was really out of pocket of him. I feel like nobody really talks about it.
Okay, so just to bring you back up to speed, Matt, we're discussing black issues, race-related issues, things like that, and somehow Trump managed to turn it back into immigration. It was a pretty smooth flip, I'm not gonna lie, but goddamn, stay on topic, motherfucker.
Well,
and it could be 18,
immigrants are Hispanic.
be 19 and even 20 million people. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you. President Biden?
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 15% unemployment. He decimated the economy, absolutely decimated the economy. That's why there was no inflation at the time. There were no jobs. We provided thousands and millions of jobs for individuals who are in all communities, including minority communities. We made sure that they have health insurance. We have covered, if the ACA has increased, I made sure that they're $8,000 per person in the family to get written off for health care. But this guy wants to eliminate that. They've tried 50 times. He wants to get rid of the ACA again, and they're going to try again if they win. We find ourselves in a position where the idea that we're not doing any, we put more police on the street than any administration has. He wants to cut the cops. We're providing for equity and making sure people have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on. But
am I the only one who feels like politics has gotten to a point where it's just a spite game? Like the laws that they pass are to spite the other party and it has nothing to do with bettering America?
It's been like that for years.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep up with what he's fucking saying.
inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Is a tremendous amount? Oh, mountain fees. Okay.
Malfeasance.
Have I missed the part where they go over golf?
No, we haven't
not
gotten
yet.
to that yet.
Climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of
All right, maybe
extreme
this will
heat,
be the golf.
intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Let me just go back to what he said about the police. How close the police are.
Oh my God!
Almost every police.
Biden might have lost his fucking thing, but he's done the greatest job of staying on track.
That's sad.
Every single time Trump gets asked a question, he goes, "Let me go back for a second."
The look on Biden's face. That's how I feel about this whole debate so far.
He looks like he just shit his pants.
Is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is
I can't tell you that's a lie.
The fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name, and he called it to them for 10, and they've taken great offense at it, and now they see it happening. But when
is that true?
Okay, we're gonna fact check that. I gotta know if that's true. If it is, that's fucking hilarious, and yeah, that's a really good own. But let's find out.
Super predators. Maybe he thought because, like, black people have dreadlocks, he thought they were like, a predator. He thinks, like, race issues is alien versus predator. Get it? Do you get it, Justin?
Okay. Yes, totally. He did a crime bill in 1994 where you called them super predators. American predators. They've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it. This is false. First Lady Hillary Clinton used the term super predators in 1996 in New Hampshire in support of the 1994 crime bill. Biden did warn in 1993 speech of predators on our streets who were beyond the pale in support of the crime bill. The bill itself was under heavy criticism in recent years for being among the policies that led to mass incarceration, disproportionately affecting black men. Biden himself rejected the theory of super predators. 1997 hearing arguing most youth in the justice system weren't violent. Biden said most youth weren't super predators. 94, 10% were involved in violent crimes. When we talk about juvenile justice system, we have to remember that most youth involved in not so-called super... Okay, so it's false. It's completely false.
Okay, so it was Hillary Clinton who said it?
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ, that bitch.
they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was incredible. He did a great job, great senator from South Carolina.
I'm really, really upset that the moderators aren't stepping in when Trump lies and just writing a blog about it after the fact, because people are going to follow what's said.
I mean, too bad that the other candidate, can't, take this shit down,
Right?
Because for some reason the Democrats wanted to put up an old man against Trump. An old senile...
I mean, Trump isn't...
He's old man
Trump
too.
is pretty old too.
Yeah, I just thought about that after said and a dementia patient.
Yeah, it feels like Trump is the fiery old racist that wants all the black kids to stay off his lawn, and Joe is the dementia-addled grandpa who's really nice to everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he seems like a nice enough guy, but he doesn't need to be fucking president.
Yeah. I do remember he used to be like a lot more of an asshole.
Yeah.
Successful economic development acts ever in the country, opportunity zones, and the biggest beneficiary.
Does Trump wear a toupee?
That's why we have the.
No, but he combs his hair in such a way to hide the fact that he's pretty much going bald.
Okay.
That's the way the picture looked to me, where his hair flipped back, and yeah.
And for some reason, I kept trying to remember if there was this thing where he wore a toupee.
It might have been a toupee, but it looked to me like his hair just flipped, and the way that he combs it is to make it look like he's not going bald.
Yeah.
Best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever, the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also
He
done
can't
a
find
horrible
them.
job for Hispanics.
They were there
But
one
what
second
you
and
see
then
is
gone the
millions of
next.
people pouring into our country, and they're going to take the
Back to immigration.
started, and you haven't seen anything yet. It's a disaster.
You know why he's doing this, right? Why he
wants
keeps
to make
bringing
that
it back to
wall.
immigration?
He wants to
No.
make, oh.
It's because his support base only care about immigration. That is the big thing that they're hinging on right now in politics. The normal people who are supporting him are all fucking worried about Mexicans coming in, which he started it. But he's relying on that now because that's become the thing that they mostly run with and they want to hear about.
Yeah.
38 seconds left. President Trump, will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best.
This has nothing to do with climate.
Ever.
Look, what you need to understand is that when Trump was president, everything in America was just fucking perfect. It was
America was
best.
great again.
Everything was best.
Yeah, you kill the sick. They're not wasting food before I will kill you.
Who the fuck is that?
Oh, I'm
all forms of energy, all forms, everything. And yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. But anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history. We find ourselves, and by the way, black colleges. I came up with
Oh my God.
for HBCUs, historic black universities and colleges, because they don't have the kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing any white student can do. They just don't have the money. But now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water, he hadn't done a damn thing in the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, there's no way back. The only existential threat to humanity is climate change, and he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing.
China.
It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical.
The way he turns.
Coming in.
I got interrupted again.
This was like, the medical thing was like an hour ago, and he just now pulled it back up? Oh, and he's talking about migrants again.
No
Go ahead,
golf
Matt.
yet?
No, not yet.
Jesus.
Insulin. I'm the one
Shut
that
up,
got
Courtney.
the insulin down for
Who
the
the
seniors.
fuck is
I
Courtney?
took care of the seniors.
My sister.
What he's doing is
You have a
destroying all
sister?
of our medical programs.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I know it's a pain in the
Migrants
ass.
coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that.
What the fuck?
Damn.
I love just hearing old men lie for fucking no reason.
I have the biggest heart on the stage. Trump. Also Trump. Grab him by the pussy.
Well, what he means is that like he has like a heart condition. His heart is like really swollen.
Oh, he has an enlarged heart. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, his heart's also in the shape of a pussy, so.
I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're
Do you
destroying
think
our
that
country.
when he gets
They're
ready to
taking
have
over our
sex
schools,
with
our hospitals.
M0nika, he pulls out his shirt off and he has like a big hole in his chest, and she's got a strap on.
His
Oh
heart's
my
just a
God.
pocket. His heart's just a pocket pussy.
Oh, she's got a strap on, but like at the
taking over
like the
Social
dildo on the
Security.
strap on has like his face melded on it,
Sure, buddy.
so he can like.
Let's just
Did y'all
continue on
know?
with this.
Did y'all know when Trump first ran for president, there was Donald Trump butt plugs for sale?
I mean,
This is
I'm
where the
not.
conversation needs to end.
He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members of the Paris Accord. How can we do anything if we're not able to, the United States can't get it under control? One of the largest polluters in the world, number one. We're making significant progress. By
Pick your nose.
2020, we will have pollution in half. We have made.
Oh, good job. 11 years.
And we're continuing to make progress.
By that point, Joe, you'll be dead, so it's okay.
Thousands of young people will learn how to deal with them, just like the Peace Corps. And we're moving in directions that are going to significantly change.
Do you think he has like a thing in his ear, and there's just like somebody like off camera like trying to tell him what to say?
I don't believe that.
It's just a mini Trump.
Well, no, I meant it was Biden.
Yeah, there's a mini Trump in Biden's ear.
A mini Trump.
The idea that he claims that he has the biggest heart up here and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate, I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay that. And by the way,
So every day,
And by the way,
millions of
what?
Americans struggle just to make ends meet. For
I think he realized he had to shut the fuck up.
Social Security provides a critical lifeline. President Biden, if nothing is done to Social Security, seniors will see their benefits cut in just over 10 years. Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social
Look
Security
at his face. It
solvent?
looks like a Saturday Night. This almost looks like a Saturday Night Live sketch, doesn't it? Because like just the
Kinda, yeah.
way, yeah, the way he's like doing his face, he looks like a a shitty Biden impersonator. But no, that's the real fucking Biden.
Specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, of their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18 years old. The idea that they're going to, I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy begin to pay their fair share by increasing from 1% beyond to be able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent, but the biggest thing will do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut in Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security and Medicare, both times. And and if you look at the program put forward by the House Republican caucus that I believe supports, is in fact want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous. And by the way, the American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And under the ACA, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people, 40 million people would not have insurance because
That
of
is
existing
a
conditions.
significant amount more than what you originally said, you dumbass.
Them to have that insurance is the fact that they in fact are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing is,
How many times are you gonna say, by the way, you retard?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Black communities, I've raised the amount of money for Pell Grants, another $8,000.
The number of the amount.
Making under $70,000 a year are going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this
No, you
side
haven't.
of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face.
Hey, Trump, can I ask you a question?
The joke's writing
You should
themselves
look in a
out.
mirror. You should look in a mirror, Trump. Jesus Christ.
When he says this guy, he's talking about himself.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things where it's like I want to make a joke about it, but it's like it's too blatant. It's too easy. It's just too blatant right there. It's just, jeez.
We're going back to the Biden.
Look at the faces. God damn.
One's constipated and one's currently taking massive.
It looks like Biden just fell a fuck asleep to me.
Trump is holding in a bloody fart.
Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is
You
a
couldn't
lie.
give us a
It's
China,
misinformation,
fuck you.
disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers,
Oh my fucking Jesus.
After that, he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one who acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation is going to increasingly go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you so much. Let's turn to the cost of child care, which
I will still say that even Trump wasn't the worst of all time.
Yeah, no. He's definitely up there in my personal opinion, but he's not the worst. What were you going to say, Matt?
He's top 10 at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Forward, President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of child care in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year per child. For many families, the cost of child care for 2 children is more than their rent. In your second term, what would you do to make child care more affordable?
Just to go back, the general got fired because he...
Oh my God!
And if he said
Can the moderator's next debate go, you cannot go back on prior fucking issues, please, for the love of God.
Right?
You think they would have said that by now?
You would have, but
think.
these moderators are like mentally deficient and retarded at the same time.
he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very high.
Why specifically 19 people?
He doesn't fire people. He never fired people. I've never seen him fire anybody. I did
I
fire a lot.
never
I
seen
fired
him
Comey because he was no good. I fired a lot of the top people at the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easy.
What, you
to fire
fucking
people.
I
Shrek
say,
or
I
something?
got some gasoline, I poured it all over him, lit a match, and I just set him on fire. No, I just set fires everywhere. The whole fucking forest burnt down.
That's why the Nazis came out.
God damn it. Was this in Charlottesville?
See, Charlottesville, I just set the whole place on fire. It's gone. We don't have to worry about it no more. Dealt with it.
And that's why we're the greatest country on earth.
Exactly.
I beg to differ.
But they were no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with that the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. He didn't fire. Did you fire
Oh my
anybody?
god, it's fucking everything's like the most. It's either like everything related to Trump is just like the greatest thing ever, and everything related to Biden is just the worst thing ever.
Didn't Trump have a show in like the 80s or the 90s where he would constantly fire people?
The Apprentice? Yeah, that was like the early 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's like what he was known for before becoming president.
Yeah.
That's allowed us to have the worst border in the history of the world. Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border and came out with
What the fucking face is
nothing
making?
deal.
He just went from that smile to like, oh, you hurt my feelings.
Hold up, I saw a little twitch in his face. I think he fucking burped.
Biden?
Yeah, right there. Did you see that?
A nothing deal. And it reduced it a little bit.
So.
A little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, President.
I can't stand listening to either of them for like different reasons.
Yeah. Is Biden gonna cry again?
Maybe.
President Biden?
We are the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's nothing beyond our capacity. We have the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody, number one. Number two, the idea that we're talking about worst presidents. I wasn't joking. Look it up or go online. 159 or 58, don't hold me the exact number, presidential historians. They've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history. One through best to worst. They said he was the worst.
Franklin Pierce, way too much fucking credit. Jesus.
That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue
That is.
but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal with child care. He did virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you.
Whoa! Whoa!
What?
Look at the subtitles.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Man,
Screenshot that, please.
I cannot believe
God damn it.
James Buchanan. I got you. Hold on. I got it.
Damn it.
I can't
Send it
believe
to me too.
I got it once I edit it because I have to fucking. Is this? Hold on. I'll send it. I'm just gonna tweet out the picture. Alright, edit.
Fucking Christ. Thank you, subtitles. Coming in clutch for a good laugh.
That should be the thumbnail.
Depending on how good of a crop job Matt did, I will definitely use it as a thumbnail.
Damn it.
Did you tweet it yet?
No, I'm still cropping. I think that's fine.
He's taking a crop.
Alright, I saved it.
And they
Alright,
raped
tweet it.
me.
I can't believe James Buchanan would do that to Donald Trump. It has been tweeted,
Got it. Okay.
I think. There he is. The faces are also hilarious too.
Right.
It should be there.
Yeah, I retweeted it and I saved the picture.
Is it a good crop?
Yes.
Okay.
The best, okay? And if I'm getting
They
rate me one of the
what he
best.
said.
Joe Biden's face is my reaction to the subtitles.
Donald Trump's reacting to what he just said.
in another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
No, James
my
Buchanan
God.
literally didn't stop the Civil War.
Far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff. He will increase the taxes on.
How many times do you want to say it? Come on, bud.
I never raised the taxes on anybody making less than $400,000. I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything coming in the country. You know what the economists say?
Every time he
That's gonna
talks,
cost
a
the
new
average
wrinkle
American
forms on his forehead.
$2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that we're importing. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how he has not raised, he's somehow helped the middle class. The middle class has been devastated by you. Now you want a new tax cut of $5 trillion over the next 10 years, which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Proud of the fact that
Look
he
at that
just said
fucking
China.
face.
Trump was very proud that he said the word China.
How much longer is this got? Because we still have not seen golf yet.
20 minutes?
That's gonna be the golf is gonna be like the very end of it, isn't it?
Probably.
Made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis, and for both of you,
I love
the
opioids.
number of
Wait, hold on.
overdose deaths in the country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl. And
I
other
have an
opioids.
idea.
What will you do to help America?
Fentanyl's my favorite.
They should just like stop taking opioids.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just
See,
kill
if nobody
themselves
wants
with,
to
like, a gun
die
or
from
something.
opioids, just don't take them.
Yeah, just shoot yourself, you know?
Yeah.
My honest opinion on the opioid crisis is so far left that I feel like I would be like It would be stupid for me to bring up my opinion. It's so far left.
Okay,
It sounds disgusting.
You gotta
You
say
can't
it now.
just say it.
Yeah.
You gotta say it now.
I think that it should be, first of all drugs should be decriminalized to start with. And then for these dangerous drugs that are primarily injection based, we should have like safe clinics to do it at, so people aren't using dirty needles. There are professionals that are guiding dosages to make sure that people aren't overdosing.
The problem is, I don't want those people having like kids.
I do agree with you, but I feel like doing that would curb the death rate, and it would make things a lot safer, and it would also help encourage people to kick the addiction.
Maybe. I really don't know. I think the thing with hard drugs is that feels like. I think of that as like a type of. That's like poison, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, it is poison, but it's a situation where putting people in jail for using and criminalizing it is not helping. Stigmatizing it is not helping. Everything that we're doing is failing right now, and it's time to try something drastic.
I think might agree with you. As I think, the only thing is I don't want like people like that having like. I don't know.
I understand what you mean, but we're getting into the territory of eugenics, and I really don't want to go into that.
So let's play the video.
Yes.
Look, all I'm saying is that, certain kinds of people shouldn't be allowed to live. And only certain kinds of people should be allowed to breed.
We now
Yes.
have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this. To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets
How?
paid
What?
by China.
What?
What?
I don't think he even knows what a Manchurian candidate is.
I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never
making
took
a
out
tweet.
my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we say,
Was that one of you guys?
What?
You didn't hear that weird juicy noise?
Well, my sun kiss is over there, so it wasn't me.
Wasn't me. I didn't take
never took
anything.
them away. He can't because it's
Wasn't
too
me.
much money. It's tremendous. And we say,
Listen closely.
he never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we
That
just
was
heard-
fucking Biden.
Oh my god!
He just ripped a fat shit on camera!
Jesus Christ.
I gotta hear that one more time, I'm sorry.
No, I do
imposed
too.
on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's
Oh boy, China. Oh, hold on, I gotta take a look at Matt's tweet. I'm curious.
Okay. Okay, and this is gonna be a really stupid question, but explain to me exactly what a Manchurian candidate is.
Okay, I'm going to look up the definition because even I'm not 100% on it. I looked it up a long time ago, but I don't completely remember it.
Okay, I know there's a movie called that, I think.
Yes, there is a movie named that. Okay, okay, maybe he does have it right. I thought it had to do with brainwashing, but a Manchurian candidate is a person, especially a politician, being used as a puppet by an enemy power. The term is commonly used to indicate disloyalty or corruption, whether intentional or unintentional.
Okay.
I could have swore it had to do with brainwashing.
I mean, that kinda does relate to it in a way. Maybe.
No, like the candidate themselves is brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yes, in the original movie, the person was used to charge a politician in or seeking office with being brainwashed by an outside foreign agent.
Doesn't it have Rock Hudson in it?
I think so. Uh, Denzel Washington?
Oh, that's a remake then.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming
1959 book.
Yeah, I think it's like a 60s movie. Isn't it sci-fi?
What do you guys? I just blanked out. What the fuck are you guys talking about?
The
Manchurian Candidates.
Did you see who was
Okay.
in the movie? Is it Rock Hudson? Am I right?
It didn't say who was in the original movie. It just brought up the 2004 movie and the book.
Well, type in the 60s.
The only thing it says about the original movie is United Artists, the studio behind the film, was wary about making a movie with such controversial subject matter. But President Kennedy, who was a friend of Sinatra, appealed to the studio to have the movie made.
Oh, so was Sinatra in it then? Well, I don't think Sinatra was in any serious movies. You know what? Fuck, I'm gonna have to look it up because you're.
2004.
Just type in the Manchurian Candidate 60s movie.
It was made in 1962.
Yeah.
Lawrence Harvey, Frank Sinatra, and James Edwards.
Okay. Oh, well, I was wrong then. I guess it did have Frank Sinatra in it then, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I'm stupid.
Okay, let's. Okay, so Trump went way off topic, and I forget what the original question was, so I'm going back.
I know. Fortunately, we never go off topic.
Okay, it's his question was about fentanyl and overdoses. Okay, I'm back.
Other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy. We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because
they kind of move like Muppets, don't they?
But he's got the large.
A little bit, yeah.
For some reason, every time I keep looking at I stare at Biden, the more he feels like he's in this the uncanny valley. Is that just me?
Yeah, kinda. It's the eyes, man. There's something about his eyes that just don't sit right.
Yeah.
Country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we were doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border it started.
Make it about immigration again.
We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot, and we were getting.
Who's a good doggy?
Very, very low numbers.
Your snake is a good doggy.
The numbers, have you
Yes.
seen the numbers now? It's not only the 18 million people that I believe is even low because the gotaways, they don't even talk about gotaways. But the numbers of the amount of drugs and human trafficking.
I have no idea.
Coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen, at numbers that nobody's ever seen under him because the border's so bad. But the number of drugs coming across our border now is the largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we use the machinery that can detect fentanyl these big machines that roll over.
Top left of his head looks like he's using every brain power imaginable to speak.
Deal we put together. Bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers.
You look like you're undrugged right now.
More numbers of all the people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues and said, "Don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically." No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now, struggling to get the treatment they need.
Well, this does pertain to it. He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended
Oh my
catch and
fucking
release.
god.
Catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say it's a hostage.
Why do you say it like that?
A Wall Street
Billion.
Journal reporter. I think a good guy, and he's over there because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter. I will have him out very quickly as soon as I take office. Before I take office, I said by literally as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago, but Putin's probably asking for.
What does a reporter have to do with fentanyl addiction? You
every time. Two cases we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Let's turn to concerns that voters have about each of you. President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s?
This is actually a really damn good question.
Yeah.
Well,
How much longer do we have?
18 minutes.
Okay, give me a second real quick.
Okay.
I'm sorry. And yeah.
Are we good, or are you still... Oh, he actually left. Okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
Being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record.
That's a fire line, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
He left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing. By the way, we brought off a lot of people. The whole idea of computer chips. We used to have 30% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States, and guess what? Those fabs they call them.
Fucking 86.
Those fabs pay.
Fuck was that?
Me whispering. I said, what the fuck does this have to do with him being 86?
Yeah, right.
For $100,000. You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States, creating significant jobs.
Yes, but he'll be 86 at the end of his term if he becomes president again.
That's what I was saying. That means he's only 82, but it feels like he's old.
Yep.
And Trump's 79.
I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think Joe Biden will survive a full term if he wins. And I don't mean like he's going to get assassinated. I mean he's going to pass away in his sleep.
Yeah.
I don't think Trump will either, to be honest.
Yeah, probably not.
Americans from all over the world.
These are both like, either one of these win, that's going to be like,
yeah, I would.
The oldest president. That's going to be the record, right?
Yep.
the idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before. We're the envy of the world. Name me a single major country president who didn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us. All of our allies and those who he cuddles up to, from Kim Jong Un, who he sends love letters to, and Putin, etc. They don't understand.
What the fuck was that?
What?
It's a fucking way, just the whole like way that like all came out, him stuttering, and then going on to like sending love letters to Kim Jong. It's just such a weirdly structured. The whole thing that is just weird. I don't know. It
Yeah.
hit me.
I love the shocked looks that Biden keeps giving.
Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions. He couldn't do it. But I took 2 cognitive tests. I took physical exams every year. And, you know,
This legitimately might be the first question he's answered directly and not immediately go, well, let me finish up real quick.
Yeah, well, the reason is obviously because he gets a chance to talk about himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships.
Oh, here we go.
Yes! Let's go!
You have to be able to hit the ball a long way.
Oh my god, here we go.
50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they've never seen anybody ace him.
Oh my God.
President Biden?
You know, I will say that the whole golf thing was surprisingly more relevant than I expected.
What?
It was more relevant than I expected it to be, since he's talking about his health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, that's kind of like related to the age. I see the logic there.
Yeah.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what you. Anyway, just take a look at
What the fuck was that?
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest rival. Is a 6 handicap of all.
8 handicap. Yeah. 8. But I have, you know how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay,
Let's not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to turn.
Let's not act like children.
To a specific concern that voters have about you. Will you pledge tonight that once all legal challenges have been exhausted, that you will accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins, and you will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable?
Well, I shouldn't have to say that, but of course I believe that. It's totally unacceptable. And if you would see my statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever
Twitter
seen.
had a field day when Trump got suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In front of, I believe, the largest crowd I've ever spoken to, and I will tell you, nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more than anybody. And I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent. because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing
I
nation.
thought you were supposed
And
to do
we're a
that the
failing
last
nation
time.
because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane. They're insane.
Have you
These are
seen
wars
this
that will
man's
never end
dick?
with him.
His dick is all. It's like a little raisin. It's all tiny and just shriveled up. It doesn't work.
Why?
He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody
Have you
can
seen this guy
imagine.
take a
We are
shit?
very, very close to World War III,
It's
and
like
he's driving us
he
there.
shits like
And
little squirmy brown worms. It's the most pathetic shits I've ever seen. I once took a 6-foot long, 1-foot wide log. Now you tell me how many other presidents can do that, huh?
Thank you.
Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III. Let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want. There's a thing
I'll be
called
right
Article
back.
5. An attack on one is...
Sorry.
This title is gonna be "Three Idiots Make Fun of the 2024 Presidential Election." There's your title.
3 idiots make fun of 2 idiots debating.
There you go.
I don't think he could open his eyes any wider if he tried.
No. 3 idiots make fun of 2 idiotic candidates for president. There you go. Perfect.
I have a feeling this video isn't going to go up, though. I'm like 99% certain that it's going to be blocked worldwide as soon as I try to upload it.
Probably. Shit. I'm fucking beat. No, I'm not. I'm not even tired. What am I talking about? When did you wake? You wake up at like what, 8?
8 or 9, something like that.
Sorry, I had to put food in the oven so I could, eat after this is over.
Okay.
Okay. Well, are you gonna be up for a while then?
Me?
Yeah.
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 Okay. I'm gonna put my phone on the charger after this so we can play cards in a bit.
Okay, sounds good. At least we'll have one video that we know for certain will upload.
Unless, yeah.
There's a thing called Article 5. An attack on one is attack on all. The required response. The idea. I can't think of a single...
Please don't smile anymore, Jesus Christ. I don't want to see your fucking teeth.
He looks possessed.
Kinda.
It's like you
It's
said, it's
mostly
those
the
fucking eyes, yeah.
the possessed look comes from the eyes and the eyebrows.
Yeah, his eyebrows, they almost look like shadows or like dark spots rather than like eyebrows.
Yeah.
They've done. Because we're a powerful nation. We have wonderful... It's because of the people. Not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything. They step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our safety is at stake.
Do you think Biden died and this is just AI?
But it's a
sounds like
clone. Tom McDonald was right. They're cloning rappers and they're cloning politicians. Holy shit. Yes, that's a conspiracy theory he had in a song. Apparently Eminem is a clone.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. I'll be right back again. Sorry.
Okay. He also thinks the Illuminati is after him for some reason.
I hope they are.
I forgot to put a timer on for my food.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm grabbing my dog.
Okay. Are you gonna play with your
Come on.
dog?
Yes, we're gonna play fetch.
Oh, I thought you were gonna stroke it.
It, there we go. Okay.
Let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me.
He sure does, just
And now he's
like
going to take the whole thing from
going
this
on
man
about
right
how he
here.
gets along with Putin, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's really proud of that friendship. I don't like Putin, but I will say his interview with Tucker Carlson was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah,
I think Trump and Putin are fucking.
probably.
Do you know anything about that interview, Matt?
I did see it.
Okay.
That's a war that should have never started. It would have never
Also,
started ever
Putin's the top, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
with me.
He's definitely a
But he's going to
coffin.
take you.
Trump would never like
given
say it,
US
but yeah, Putin's the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a great
His
position right now with
face.
Ukraine
Just like what?
and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities with the golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked if I were
President Trump,
president.
the question was, will you accept the results of the election, regardless of who wins, yes or no? Please?
If it's a fair and legal and good election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted these, but the fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that.
Shut the fuck up.
Then I'm running again.
So basically, what he's saying is, I know I'm uncharitable to Trump, but my interpretation of this is, I will accept it only if I win.
Exactly.
Really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again,
Yeah, you've already
no
said this
indictments,
shit.
no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win. But unfortunately, it's driven up my numbers and driven them up to a very high level.
You know what?
Because
I'm
the
gonna
people
say this is
understand
what
that.
America pretty much deserves right now.
This is what America what?
Deserves right now.
No.
These two. I mean, they're just. Why do we let like people
Can
like
I
this
vote for an
run?
actual like frog for president? Let me vote for Harambe real quick.
Yeah.
I will say that these two are twisted, fucked up reflections of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna vote for D's
Let's see
nuts.
what your numbers are
But-
when this election is over. Let's see. You're a whiner. When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one single court in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there's all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I tell you what, I doubt whether you'll accept it because you're such a whiner. The idea if you lose again, you accepting anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
I can tell she's fucking annoyed with Trump just evading every question.
Oh yeah, definitely. Do you think they just chose like the funniest like image of Trump they could get?
Probably.
How much longer has it got?
4
Hold up,
minutes
I got a
or
text
so.
message. I need to check it.
Okay.
As predetermined by a coin toss. We're going to begin with
I looked at it when he went back. Mago, it's like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We've made significant progress from the debacle that was left by President Trump in his last term. We found ourselves in a situation where, number one, we have to make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit. Number one, he's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes in the United States of America. What I did, for example, he wants to get rid of the ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug pricing.
Jesus, that was a bad fumble.
I know.
We got it down to $35.
Jesus fuck. Get this guy off the stage! Boo, you suck!
How much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced.
Look, he is using like all of his energy to get this out.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I'm going to make that available to every senior all along. It's happening now.
Oh my fuck.
And everybody in America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have child care. We're going to significantly increase the credits people have for child care. I'm going to make sure we do something about what we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing statement.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer.
You want to just kind of fast forward past this?
We want to get.
Okay, it's good.
Nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Okay.
Thank you, former President Trump, President Biden.
It ended about exactly as I expected it to. So, what's your overall thoughts? Final thoughts.
That was by far the worst and yet the funniest presidential debate in the history of the United States.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Oh, I said, did you want us to look up the debate? What was it? Biden versus who was Mitt Romney's VP?
Oh, it was the Alaska person, fucking Sarah Palin.
Oh no, this wasn't Sarah Palin. This was the other person. I think this came after, or was this a different?
What was this? I thought
this
it
was a
Sarah
different
Palin.
I remember that, but I also remember.
So Mitt Romney.
Yeah, Mitt Romney.
Did the stream end?
Or maybe he did. Mitt Romney run twice.
I'm watching you.
Oh, okay.
It was some like young Republican man. I remember it was a vice president.
Oh,
debate.
it is that. Yeah, it was that one. Yeah.
It wasn't Palin though. It was a man.
But I'm gonna let my phone charge for an hour, and then I'll tag both of you in the chat.
Okay.
Oops. No, I don't want to war. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Seems like all they're showing is
Let me find his fucking
highlights
name.
of the.
Cause I can't fucking remember his name. Or was it? Maybe it was John McCain's. Oh no, it's Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan. That's who it fucking was.
Paul Ryan.
Yeah, I think, yeah, and fucking the woman, she was John McCain, VP. I wonder if it'll be up there. Yeah.
Get right to it right now. It's Your Voice, Your Vote, which is 25 days to go. And ABC John Carl has all the highlights from Danville, Kentucky. And John, boy, no throat clearing last night. These guys were going at it right from the start.
They sure were, George. This was a clash of ideas, a clash of styles, and I would say the liveliest vice presidential debate we have ever seen.
This one got personal.
Jack Kennedy lowered tax rates, increased growth. Ronald Reagan.
Now you're Jack Kennedy.
Barb after barb.
I know you're under a lot of duress to make up for lost ground, but I think people will be better served if we don't keep interrupting each other.
Well, don't take all the 4 minutes then.
Biden was often dominant, maybe a little too dominant. Republicans claimed he interrupted Ryan 82 times, often breaking out in laughter, even when Ryan was talking about Iranian nukes.
And all I have to point to.
Biden was even all smiles when he accused Ryan of basically not telling the truth.
This is a bunch of stuff. Look, here's the deal.
What does that mean?
Oh my God, he's like Trump.
It's Irish. It is. We Irish call it malarkey.
Thanks for the translation.
They disagreed on
He said
virtually
malarkey. I
everything,
told you.
from Syria to
Yep.
Medicare.
Now they got a new plan.
This is like a completely different person.
I fucking know, right?
Follow your instincts on this one.
They got caught with their hands in the cookie jar, turning Medicare into a piggy bank for Obamacare.
ABC's Martha Raddatz pressed both of them, challenging Biden to explain the White House's shifting stories on the attack that killed the U.S. ambassador to Libya.
When people in the consulate first saw armed men attacking with guns, there were no protesters.
Because
Why
that's
did that
exactly
go on for
what
weeks?
we were told by
By
the
who?
intelligence community.
It's indicative of a broader problem. And that is what we are watching on our TV screens is the unraveling of the Obama foreign policy.
Score one for Ryan there. But when Ryan slammed the administration's $800 billion stimulus bill, Biden was ready with this.
He sent me 2 letters saying, by the way, can you send me some stimulus money for companies here in the state of Wisconsin? We sent millions of dollars. You know,
Oh my God, he sounds like Trump almost.
By the way,
Is that just me, or you're getting that too, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that too. He's got the very similar energy level and intonation.
Yeah, like the way he's like words things too. It's just dang it, like Jesus.
Yeah.
We advocated for constituents who are applying for grants. That's what we do. We do that for all constituents who are.
I love that. I love that. This is such a bad program, and he writes me a letter saying, writes the Department of Energy a letter saying, the reason we need this stimulus, it will create growth and jobs. His words.
Unlike the president, Biden slammed Ryan over Romney's infamous comments about the 47% of Americans who don't pay income taxes. Ryan turned it back on Biden.
I think the vice president very well knows that sometimes the words don't come out of your mouth the right way.
Now, there will be a lot of discussion over who was stronger last night, Biden or Ryan, but I've got to tell you, around here, there was one clear consensus winner, and that was the moderator, Martha Raddatz, who taught the world what we...
Okay, can we have that Biden back?
No. I think he got neutered.
Yeah. That was a bad debate. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Final thoughts? This country is fucked no matter who wins.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know me. I don't think the fucking president makes near the difference we'd like to think he does. Or at least not anymore.
I will say, in this particular election, there's more at stake than there usually is, but it's mainly because of the people that are in the background, specifically on the Republican side. I'm talking about Project 2025. The more I read about it, the more it fucks me up.
I don't know shit about that.
I'll give you the most important part, in my opinion, the part that kind of scares me the most. if Republicans win, they want to gut all of the federal agencies to nothing, like the FDA, all of those different parts of the government. They want to basically remove them entirely. They want to remove most of the people that are running the government right now and replace them with Republican loyalists.
Yeah.
And they've got a 180-day plan to make all of this happen if a Republican wins.
Okay.
There's a lot of stuff that's bad. I think the one thing that you'll care about the most is they want to put a complete ban on pornography.
Oh, well, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Just a hunch.
I hope you're right, but I don't know.
I get it, yeah, it's probably scary, but I just... But I still imagine it's going to be one of those things when it's like it finally comes
You're breaking
around. It's
up.
just, I'm sorry. I think it's going to be like one of those things that just kind of like fades into nothing.
I hope you're right. I really do. I hope I'm just afraid for nothing.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I've seen something come up during an election where I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, you'll have to like... I'm assuming you have like vids you can share and shit.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Okay,
They're very left leaning, but the main points, like at the beginning of the video, just literally reads from this basically manifesto.
Okay, as long as it's not like reading main comments for 30 minutes and just, taking...
No, it's nothing like that. I would skip the end of the video that I'm going to send you because it gets into we need to move towards socialism and blah 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 blah. All of that bullshit is unimportant, but the first 10 minutes of the video is literally just reading from the manifesto what it says verbatim.
Yeah. Also, I guess it's time to just kind of end this because this let's see, 3.5 hours. We've been over 3.5. Yeah.
Jesus.
Isn't that longer than the fucking folding ideas?
Yeah.
Did you ever actually upload that? Because I did send it to you.
No, not yet. I haven't even pulled it out of the email yet.
Okay. I just want to make sure you actually got the email.
Yes, I got the email, but I haven't removed it yet. I need to actually pull it out because my Gmail storage is full, and I'm having trouble receiving emails now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop. So, closing statements.
Yeah, this debate was a shit show. If the president actually has any type of power, the country is fucked. If you disagree with anything that I said here, feel free to dislike, leave a nasty comment, and unsubscribe.
Okay, Kill Whitey!